So, hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, all. So, today we are going to start another topic in digital modulation. So, we have already completed the first type of digital modulation, that is ASK, amplitude shift key. Now, today we are going to start another modulation that is named as FSK. So, before starting, we want to brush up our previous knowledge. So, we will uh, see what things you have get or what things you are having issue. So why we need modulation? Whatever you know, just answer it. Why we need modulation?
To send signal to desired destination.
Okay. Anyone else wants to add something? So it's true for sending the signal from one place to another. We are doing modulation, but not the exact answer. What I am expecting. Modulation is done for sending that signal to a longer distance. Now, what is the problem for sending a signal for a longer distance? Because it's an issue with height of antenna. If you see, the height of antenna is given by lambda by 4, where lambda is your wavelength, and wavelength can be calculated by C by F. So just I will show you here only.
So from where that come for formula came from,
It's
like
uh,
lambda
ca-
by 4.
they have calculated using transmitted power and received power. So once you are transmitting in electromagnetic wave, so the every after every distance, the power of that signal is reducing. So they have mounted that antenna and they have calculated up to which point they are receiving. And they, after seeing all those things, they have come up with this solution that the height of antenna is lambda by 4, so the coverage area will be this one. So इस तरह से उन्होंने calculate किया manually. So it's an experimental value. They have not come up with some mathematical form or something that height of antenna will be this much. So up to this point you are going to receive. So thus what they have did, they have taken a transmitted power, and they have a received antenna over there, and they have changed the distance of received antenna up to which point they have able to receive, and the height of antenna. So they have made a relationship between that thing. So उन्होंने वो experimental value से calculate किया.
Yes,
So
so
height of, either you can go for height of antenna,
Okay.
or you can go for power. So
Mm.
if you increase the power, then there is a issue, because those signal is going to transmit in air. So if it is transmitting in air, then the issue is with the normal human beings and the living things, because those signal is going to pass through those living things, because
Yes.
these signals are very high frequency signals. So
Yeah.
the very high frequency signals is little bit less dangerous than low frequency signals. And if power is high, then what will happen? For a shorter duration, if your signal is passing from your body will act as a resistor, and that signal is having some voltage. So there will be a flow of current in your body. So due to that flow, your neural network or brain networks can be damaged. So that's why some people are facing problem, and some claims are there that these signals are damaging the brains of human beings. So that's why they don't go for the high power radiation. So the power is our concern. So they will go with the that much power only, which will not affect your body. Second thing, the height of antenna. So they can either increase the power or they can increase the height. So the power is not in our control, because if we increase the power, then there will be an issue with human being. So they go for the height of antenna. So height of antenna will be given by lambda by 4,
Yes, sir.
and lambda is
Wavelength.
c by f. Okay. So c
Yeah.
is speed of light. So 3 into 10 raised to power 8. Now if you see, just if I take that our frequencies, whatever signal I want to transmit is 20 kilohertz. So it will be 3 into 10 raised to power 8 divided by 20k, or 20 into 10 raised to power 3. So what will be the height of antenna? This will be 5, and 3 by 4, and 3 by 2. So this will be 15 kilometer. Is it feasible to design an antenna whose
No, no,
height is
no.
15 kilometers?
No, no,
No.
no.
So what we can do, we can go for increasing this frequency. We will not go for 10 raised to power 3. We will go for 10 raised to power 6 or 10 raised to power 8. So if you go for 10
Yes.
raised to power 8, then now you can come up with the height of antenna which is feasible, which is in meters only. So for satellite communication, it's the distance is 36,000 kilometers. So the height of antenna required is very high. So they went for very high frequency in gigahertz. So if you've seen that animation, then they have tell that 30 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz they will use for satellite communication. So that's why they have increased the frequency. So now how they can increase the frequency? So they have come up with a solution that we will do modulation. So modulation is available in both the signals, analog as well as digital. So in analog, we are having two type of modulation: analog modulation, amplitude modulation, and angle modulation. In angle modulation, again they classify frequency modulation and phase modulation. Like in the same, in the digital modulation, first is amplitude modulation. They named that ASK, amplitude shift key. Second is FSK, and third is PSK. In same fashion, they are having three modulation in digital domain. So normally the satellite communication what we are using right now, they are using PSK plus ASK, quadrature amplitude modulation. So they are using that kind of modulation. So today we are going to start FSK. FSK is not used widely in our whole world, because the bandwidth requirement in FSK is much more higher as compared to the ASK, and our bandwidth is limited we are having. So due to that, we are not using a higher uh, FSK in the wide application. So as we know, modulation is superimposing of your carrier on the characteristics of data signal. So here data, what is your data signal? Your data signal is your digital signal. Now, according to your digital signal, the frequency of your carrier signal is going to change. Then it is known as FSK, because it will affect your frequency. Now, why it is useful? So first we will see the definition, and then we will see why it is important and how it is different from ASK. So we are having a digital stream, and we are having a carrier frequency that is named as FC. So this is our carrier frequency, which is going to carry your digital data. Now, say for example, if your digital data is containing two levels, 0 and 1 only. So we are not taking 4 level, 5 level, we are taking only two levels, 0 or 1. So if one is represented by, or one is represented by frequency FC plus delta F, and 0 will be represented by FC minus delta F. So we are having two frequencies, FC plus delta F and FC minus delta F. So what does that mean? One will be represented by different frequency and 0 will be represented by different frequency. Now your information will be there in frequency domain. So we will see the demonstration how the signals will look like. So there the first demonstration shows that two digital code, we want to transmit that two digital code. So if you want to transmit two digital code, that means we are having four levels, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So the blue lines here shows those levels. So 00 stands for 0 decimal number, 01 will stand for 1 decimal number, 10 will stand for 2 decimal number, and 11 will stand for 3 decimal number. So if you see in the figure in FSK signal, which is represented in yellow color, for every level we are having a various frequency. So if you see for 0, it is having maximum frequency. 1, if you see for one signal, then it is lesser than 0 but higher than 2. Same way 2 is lesser than 1 but higher than 3, and 3 has minimum frequency. So just to observe that yellow signal, this is following in this fashion. So all those frequency is divided in four frequency components: FC plus delta F1, FC plus delta F2, FC minus delta F1, FC minus delta F2. So these four components are available in this band. So you go through this figure. If you are having any doubt, you can ask. So this is not the only case where you can decrease the frequency. You can increase the frequency too. So it may be happen that the three level, 1 will have the maximum frequency, and 00 will have the minimum frequency. We are taking the reverse version. So this whole thing depends upon the application or which company is doing that work. So according to a different company, they are following different standards. So some go for positive logic and some go for negative logic. Positive logic means they will represent 0 with lower frequency and 1 with higher frequency. Negative logic means what they are using: 0 for highest frequency and 1 for the 3 for the lowest frequency. So this is the example of two-digit code. Now we will go for the binary signal. So binary signals means we are having only two levels, either 0 or 1. So we are having only two frequency components. So we will see that thing. So here, if you see, we are having only two signals. So one is 0, second one is 1. So here your data signal will be represented by blue color. The carrier they have not shown. And here in this yellow color figure, you can see the frequency is changing. Now 1 is represented by higher frequency and 0 is represented by the lower frequency. This is the case here. So whatever I told you, that higher number can be represented by higher frequency and lower number can be represented by lower frequency. That may be possible. It may be possible, it may not be possible. So here, this is the next case what we are seeing. So if you have doubt up to this point, you can just ask. screen is not visible. Now, so just quickly you can see that thing. First is the definition. So we have already seen the definition, so we will not bother about that definition. Just to see the demonstration of two-digit code. So the blue lines are showing the different codes 0, 1, 2, 3. So the 3 is having the minimum frequency and 0 is having the maximum frequency. Now, as your number is increasing from the 0, your frequency is also increasing. So just see it properly. So if you are having any doubt, we will take your doubts and then we will move further. This is two-digit code, then we will see the one-digit code. So this is the figure for one-digit code. So here you can see the 1 will be represented by higher frequency and 0 will be represented by lower frequency. So it may depend which level you are representing with higher frequency and which level you are representing with lower frequency. It doesn't mean that every time the lower frequency will be represented by the higher amplitude. It may vary with the company to company. Okay, now we see the bandwidth of our binary shift frequency shift key. So bandwidth is one of the most important parameters. So the bandwidth can be defined in two terms. First one is bandwidth of your signal and second one is bandwidth of your channel. So what is the difference between bandwidth of your signal and bandwidth of your channel? The bandwidth of your signal means the signal can be accommodated in your channel if your signal is having this much bandwidth. So say for example, if your signal is 100 kilohertz bandwidth, then the channel bandwidth should be higher than 100 kilohertz. Then and then only the signal can be transmitted from one place to another place. Otherwise, it is not possible to transmit your signal from one place to another place. So that is the criteria for that thing. So that is very important. You need to understand. So what is the difference between signal bandwidth and channel bandwidth? So that is the first thing. So that's why first thing what we need to do, we need to calculate our signal bandwidth. Then we will decide how many signals can be sent over the channel. So here if you see the 1 second is there and we are sending 5 signals 10110. So these 5 signals will be there. So bit rate will be 5 bits per second. Baud rate will be also equals to 5 baud per second. Why it is same? Because we are sending single levels. If you are having two level, then it baud rate will be 5 divided by 2. If it is three level, then baud rate will be 5 divided by 3. So depends upon the number of levels you are using. The baud rate and bit rate will be varied. So bitrate will be always number of bits per second you are sending. So if you are having two levels, so here instead of one, we are having two bits, 1110. So we are having total 10 bits. So 10 bits per second will be your bit rate, and baud rate will be 10 divided by 2. That will be 5. So baud rate we have already seen the formula of baud rate, so we are not going back to that thing. So we move further. Now, if you see the bandwidth requirement of your binary frequency shift key, so here we have drawn the signal. So we are having two signals, F1 and F2. Now both are separated by 2 delta F. How it is separated by 2 delta F? Just I will tell you quickly. So first is your center frequency, that is Fc. So in the first definition, we have tell that center frequency will lie at Fc. The second frequency will be lying at Fc plus delta F. So it will be lying here, and the frequency will be Fc plus delta F. And second will be lying at the left hand side, Fc minus delta F. This is as per the definition of. So now I want to calculate the bandwidth. So Fc plus delta and Fc minus delta F, both are ASK signals. So the bandwidth of ASK signal we have already seen. The bandwidth of ASK signal is given by 1 plus D into S. So here it is written 1 plus D plus S. So that is the bandwidth of your ASK signal, 1 plus D multiplied by S, where S is your baud rate, D is your modulation index. So D will be always in range of 0 to 1. Then if this is one ASK signal and this is another ASK signal, so both are separated by this frequency. So if you want to calculate the bandwidth of this frequency, bandwidth will be Fc plus delta F minus Fc minus delta F. Both are in brackets. So if you see, the bandwidth will be given by the next equation. This will be replaced by plus minus. So we will open the bracket. So here will minus and here it will be plus. Now this 2Fc will goes out, Fc plus Fc. So your bandwidth will become twice of delta F. So this will be the bandwidth for these two signals. So the bandwidth requirement for ASK signal is there because we are sending the ASK signal only. So in the experiment, in the last phase of your experiment, you will see that we are sending only ASK signal, but in the last we are adding two ASK signals, and two ASK signals is separated by this bandwidth or this frequency 2 delta F. So that's why we are adding this 2 delta F in your bandwidth. So now this will become your bandwidth of your FSK signal. So your bandwidth has been increased by this term, 2 delta F. So that's why the bandwidth requirement of FSK signal is higher than ASK signal, and we are not using ASK signal widely in our day-to-day life application. Now, if we have made ASK, FSK, and PSK, so there should be some advantage over there ASK. So what are the various advantages we will see? Now, if you see your signal, your input signal or the transmitted signal will be like this. I will copy from here. So we don't want this thing, so I will remove that part. So this part is not triggered. Now, wherever if you see noise will be added in your signal, where noise is going to add in your signal?
Sir, in transmission medium in air.
Yes, but where, in which part of your signal, output signal? In amplitude, frequency, or phase, where it is going to add?
In amplitude.
in amplitude. So here your noise is going to affect your signal. So here noise will be there. So by adding this noise, whether your signal is affected, no, your signal will be not affected because the signal lies in the frequency of this signal element. So if your amplitude is distorted or some change is there in your amplitude, it will do nothing in your signal. So it will not able to disturb your signal in any manner. So that's why we have opted frequency modulation for storage purposes. So if you want to use audio signals and you want to send the audio signals, you can't go for ASK signal, because in your audio signal, if ASK is used, then the noise will be added in your amplitude. And if your noise is being added in amplitude, then there will be an issue. So because if your signal is disturbed, your whole data will be corrupted. So we don't want to use the corrupted data. So at that place, we are using FSK, where we want to receive a signal whose distortion or noise should not be affected. So FSK is noise immune. So the noise will be not affect your FSK signal. So that's why we are using FSK, where you want a very good reception or the signal should not be affected by the noise. So at that place we are using FSK. Otherwise we are happy with ASK because bandwidth requirement is very less. So the bandwidth is given by 1 plus C multiplied by S plus 2 delta F. So now we are having a one example. Just look at that example. We are having a available bandwidth of 100 kilohertz. So this 100 kilohertz is a signal bandwidth, which spans from 200 to 300 kilohertz. That means this whatever signal you are using, that is a band limited signal. So it is not a low pass signal. So it is starting, the bandwidth is starting, or the bandwidth will be lying here in the range of, the bandwidth will be not from the zero. So always your bandwidth will be available in the band pass way. So it is available at 200 and 300 kilohertz. So just you to take 200 to 300 kilohertz. So one is available here, just say for example, and another is available here, and zero is here. So every signal is not started from zero. So every signal is a band limited signal. So we are whatever we are using in your transmission. So that means it is not started from the beginning. So it will be having some minimum frequency and maximum frequency, because our spectrum is divided into different frequency ranges. So only first frequency will start from zero and up to this frequency. Other frequency band will start from the different frequency and it will end at the different frequency. So we can't use that frequency. So now what he has said that our frequency spans between this and the bandwidth is 100 kilohertz. So this data is not required, however, because 100 kilohertz, why it is required? Because already they have given the span of 200 to 300 kilohertz. So if it is available from 200K to 300K, so we can easily calculate the total bandwidth of a signal. So bandwidth of a signal will be given by F1 or F2 minus F1. So 300 minus 200 kilohertz. So it will be 100 kilohertz. So first thing what we need to do, we need to find its center frequency. So first I will find its center frequency. So center frequency always lies at the center of these two frequencies. So center of frequency should lie here. So if it is lie here, so your frequency will be FC will be equals to F1 plus F2 divided by 2. So that will be always your center frequency. If you are having the lower bandwidth and lower frequency and the higher frequency component available in your signal is this way, so you can easily calculate your center frequency. Center frequency will be given by F1 plus F2 divided by 2. So that will be 200 plus 300 divided by 2. That will be 250. So that will be the first center frequency you can calculate. So that they must calculated the first thing. So here the midpoint of this band is 250 kilohertz. So your center frequency will be lying here. Now second thing what we need to do, we need to calculate 2 delta F, because bandwidth is given by B is equal to given by 1 plus D multiplied by S plus 2 delta F. So D they have given already, D is 1. So given we will see what terms we are having. Given we are having bandwidth. So B is given, it is 100K. D they have given, D is 1. S we need to find out. And delta F we need to find out what is the delta F. We need to calculate these two things. Now how we can calculate? Now delta F you can easily calculate. Now how you can calculate? We are having two signals. So one will be available here. And other will be available here. So the two signals will be available here and here. Now the mid frequency of these two signals will be, one will be here and second will be here. Now this mid frequency can be given by this formula. Sorry. Fc plus F1 divided by 2. So this will be equals to Fc is 250 plus 200 divided by 2. That means 450 divided by 2. So 225K. So the center frequency will be here 225K, and the center frequency for this one will be given by Fc plus F2 divided by 2. That means 250 plus 300 divided by 2. So 550 divided by 2. That means 275K. So now the difference between these two will be given by your delta F. So delta F will be 275K minus 250K. That will be 225K. So 2 delta F will be this one. So this will be 50K. So now just we want to substitute these values here, and we will calculate our S. So S will be given by, first bandwidth is 100K. 100K. This will be equals to 1 plus 1. D is given 1. as we want to calculate plus 2 delta f, we have already found 50k. So 100k minus 50k, you are having 50k equals to 2 twice of s. So s will be 25. So 25 kilo per baud. So that will be your baud rate given by 25 kW. In this way, you can calculate. So S will be 25, and we are represented signal using only one bit. So bit rate will be equals to your baud rate. That will be not 25 kilobits per second. So in this way, you can easily calculate our baud rate if all these other parameters are given. So this is the first example we have seen. So just go through this example. I will give 2 minutes. If you are having any doubts, you can ask. Okay. So no questions are there. So I think everything is clear. So we move to the next example, next topic. That is coherent and non-coherent sources. FSK scheme. So coherent and non-coherent schemes, we are having two FSK schemes available in our technology. One is non-coherent and second one is coherent. So what is the difference between coherent and non-coherent? Just I will tell you in short. So if you see this figure, so it is not possible that every time your signal ended here at the zero frequency, or you can say at the zero phase. So it may happen that your signal will end up here. So due to ending here, the signal, either the next signal will start from here or the next signal should start from here. So we are having two ways. So your signal will be start from the ending point, or you can start from the zero phase again. So if you are starting from the zero phase, then it is known as non-coherent FSK. So in non-coherent FSK, the signal, whatever the signal, next signal you are going to receive, this will be always starting from zero, or if your data bit is changing, then it will be starting from zero. But in case of coherent, it will start from there only. Wherever your first signal will end or zero signal will end, it will start from there only. So that is the difference between FSK and coherent FSK and non-coherent FSK. So you just need to know about that thing. So it is not that much important. So just it's a thing which you should know. So normally in our technology, we are using coherent FSK. Wherever your signal is ending, the signal will start from the resume from the that phase. It will not start from the other phase. Now we will see the multi-level FSK. So till now, whatever we have discussed or the bandwidth we have discussed, that is true for the single level FSK. Single level means you are having only one bit data, 0 or 1. Now, if you are having multi bits, so you are having multi levels. So if you are having 2 bits, so you are having 4 levels, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. Now, if you are having 4 levels, then you will need to see what will be the bandwidth. Now, why bandwidth will be affected? So till now, if you see, we are having only two frequencies, FC plus delta F, FC minus delta F. Now, if it is multi-level, that means right now you are using two levels. So we need four frequencies. We can't accommodate all the signals in two frequencies. So we need four frequencies. So we will add two other frequencies. That will be FC plus 2 delta F and FC minus 2 delta F. So due to which what will happen, your bandwidth is going to increase because you have increased the number of levels. So due to which the number of frequency components present in your FSK signal is going to increase. So due to increase in that frequencies, our bandwidth of your signal is going to increase. So that will be available here. So if you see what it will be there, 1 plus D plus S, this is the bandwidth for ASK signal, plus do delta F will be affected by the number of levels. So it will be given by L minus 1 divided by 2 delta F. So now this will be 2 delta F is very small as compared to L minus 1 and other things. So we just simplify this term L multiplied by S because D will be always 1. So 0 to 1, so it will be always lesser than 1. So the effect of D and 2 delta F will become less, and L will be, or number of levels will be dominant over those things. So if it is dominant, you can just simplify that equation. You can represent it using L multiplied by S. So we will see an example of multi-level FSK. So first we will see the example, then we will see this question. So in this example, we need to send 3 data bits. So 3 bits means we are having total 8 number of levels, 0 0 0 0 to 1 1 1. So 0 say 0 to 7. So 7 total number of levels will be 8. So at the time bit rate they have given 3 Mbps. So you can easily calculate if your bit rate is 3 Mbps and our number of bits are 3. So you can easily calculate your baud rate. Baud rate will be 3 Mbps. Divided by number of levels. That is 3. So your baud rate will be 1 Mbps. That's the second thing. First thing we have already calculated. Number of levels will be 2 raised to power 3. That will be equals to 8. So that two things we have calculated till now. Now the carrier frequency is 10 megahertz. Calculate the number of levels or different frequencies, the baud and the bandwidth. So baud rate we have already calculated. Now we need to calculate the different frequencies. So we are having center frequency 10 megahertz. So say for example, all the frequency or the 2 delta F is 1 megahertz. So you can assume the other thing also, but here we have assumed that the frequency is separated by 1 megahertz. So because why it is written 1 megahertz? Because the baud rate is 1 Mbps. If your baud rate is 1 Mbps, that means after every 1 second, your next data should be sent. So they should be always separated by 1 MB. So 1 MB if you take in 1 Mbps if you take in hertz, it will be represented by 1 megahertz. So here if you take, so now we will draw the frequency spectrum of this signal. So this is your signal. So first is your center frequency. Your center frequency they have given 10 megahertz. So here it is 10 megahertz. Now every other frequency is separated by 1 megahertz. So if fc plus delta f, first here fc minus delta f, and here it will be fc plus delta f. So they are separated by 1 megahertz. So the separation between these two will be 1 megahertz. Now if it is separated by 1 megahertz, so here it will be 9.5 and here it will be 10.5 megahertz. So this is not our field, this is just our central frequency. Central frequency. Now the other signal, it will be also separated by 1 megahertz. So it will be available here. Third will be available here. Fourth will be available here. Same way. Four will be available here. And each will be separated by 1 megahertz. So that means if it is 10.5, it is 9.5. So this will be 8.5. This will be 7.5. And this will be 6.5. And this will be 11.5. This is 12.5. And this will be last will be 13.5. So 13.5 is your center frequency. It is not your whole bandwidth of your signal. So last 8 signal will have having 1 megahertz. So the bandwidth will be signal of bandwidth will be given by this band. So if zero point 0.5 will be here or zero point 0.5 will be on the right hand side. So total will be the ending frequency will be 14 megahertz. So this will be 14 megahertz, the last. Same way, if you see in the left hand side, 6.5 is the center frequency for that thing, and the last frequency will be lying here, and that will be 6. So bandwidth requirement or total bandwidth is this one, 14 minus 6, that will 8 megahertz. So it's a graphical analysis. So in the graph we have calculated. Now we will use mathematical form or whatever we have given. So B will be given by S multiplied by L. So if you see in the previous formula, S multiplied by L, you can easily calculate the bandwidth. So we have already find S is 1 Mbps and number of levels will be 8. So it will be 8 Mbps or 8 megahertz. So we have calculated using graph and as well as your mathematical formula. So we can see that both are true. So that's why if you remove that these terms, it will not affect so much that your bandwidth is going to change or not. So you can easily calculate using this way. So this is the question. So you just go through that solution and then I will show that figure what they have drawn. So take your 2 minutes here. and this is the graphical representation. So if you are having any doubt up to this, you just ask me. Okay, so no questions has been asked, so we will move further. So now we go to the multi-sim circuits, or we will went for experiment, today's experiment. Now first thing, what we come up with a solution that we need two frequencies. So we are having two signals at different time of different stamp of time. So we can go for the multiplexer. So if you use multiplexer, what will happen? If you selection line, so one of the FFC3, which is your data signal, which is applied at the A. So that is A is your selection line, and D0 and D1 is your data input. Now we see the first operation of your multiplexer. So multiplexer is also known as data selector. So if you see your multiplexer, it will look like this one. Two inputs. One will be selection line. So this will be F0, this will be A, this will be B. And this will be your output. Now, if you apply 0 here, so there is a mechanical switch here, which will connect it to Y. So whatever data available at A will be available at Y if you select 0. So just I will tell you what will be the truth table for that. S0 will be your input and Y will be your output. Now, if you apply 0 here, whatever data available at A input, that will be available in output. Same way, if you apply 1, you will get B as a output. So if you apply 1, what will happen? This switch will be connected to B. So if it is connected to B, whatever data available at B point, that will be your output. So this is the functionality of your multiplexer. So what we did, we have added two frequencies. So this is some higher frequency component and B will be at lower frequency. So just take it a higher frequency and we will take it, this will be at lower frequency. Now if you press 0, so say for example, you are applying this signal. So this is 1 and this is 0. So for 1, you will get B output. So you will get a lower frequency signal. And maybe this way you will. For 1, you will get a higher frequency. For 0, you will get a higher frequency. So you will get this one. Again for 1, you will get a lower frequency. So in the output you will get, but there is a problem with the multiplexer because multiplexer is a digital block. It will not able to produce a sine waveform. So producing a sine waveform is challenge for your multiplexer. So we will see what problem we are facing. The output will be your digital signal. It will not be an analog signal. So now if you see here, we are having three function generators. That first function generator XFG1 will generating a 100 hertz frequency. Second is generating a 500 hertz. So this will be your higher frequency. This will be a lower frequency. So if 0, A is your selection line. If A is 0, D0 data will be selected. So D0 will be available. So D0 is lower frequency and D1 is your higher frequency. So we will see the output waveform. So here you are getting the output lower and higher frequencies. So for 0, you can see the lower frequency is there. For 1, it is a higher frequency, but it is not a sine waveform. So the problem with the square waveform, that is we are having a lots of harmonics present in your square waves of form signal. So in the math, you have studied Fourier series, yes or no? मैथ्स में फूरियर सीरीज पढ़ा है सबने. Yes, you have studied maths. सुशील, मोहम्मद, प्रियांक, अर्पित, मैथ्स पढ़ी है? तो मैथ्स में फूरियर सीरीज टाइप का एक टॉपिक आता था, याद है? हाँ, तो फूरियर सीरीज में हम क्या करते थे, वी find out the different components available in your signal. So we must have calculated at that time what are the frequency component available in your square wave and sine waveform. So in square wave, if you see, you are having first DC component, then first frequency component, third, fifth, seventh, all odd frequency component will be there. So it may be infinite. So your signal is having an infinite number of components in your digital signal. So that's why we are not preferring digital signal to send, because the bandwidth of your digital signal is very high. So the issue with this signal is that, so we have come up with the other solution, which is solved by using generating two ASK signals. So the other signal, other block diagram, if you see, it will look like this one. So we will take two binary data. We will take one binary data and we will put a data on inverter. So what the inverter will do, it will invert your data. So if it is 0, it will be replaced by 1. If it is 1, it will be replaced by 0. So once it is done, then it will be multiplied with some oscillator frequency. So what is oscillator? Oscillator is a block which will generate a constant frequency. So there in this real world, there are lots of oscillators are available. So the most stable oscillators are known as crystal oscillators. So they are having 16.59 megahertz frequency. So other frequency you can generate using PL. So the block here oscillator, what you are using, we are using as that. So normally oscillators oscillates between a capacitor and inductor, and it will produce a constant frequency. So that is a use of oscillator. Then oscillator is multiplied with your digital data, binary input. So if you see, the binary input will be, if it is multiplied, you will get first ASK signal, which is seen here in the top side, and second ASK signal, which is you can see in the bottom side. So we will receive two ASK signals, and both the signals are available at different timestamps. So what you can do, you can just add these two signals and you will get your output waveform. So in this way, you can generate your FSK signal. So just I will show you the ASK signal what we have generated in the previous session, so you can remember that thing. So so I have already created an account, so just I will need to log in it again. So just directly go to PSK. And go for the interactive version. So first signal, what we will generate? Last two, last two ones. So here you can see the signal will be available here in the last two blocks. Now we will invert this data. So inverting this data means all other data will be replaced by 1 except last two. So last two will be replaced by 0. So now if you see the ASK signal, the last two will be 0, other will be carrier frequency. Now if you add these two together, you will able to receive your FSK. So both are, if you are both are having different frequency, if you combine it together, they are at different stems, so you will able to generate your FSK signal. So in this way you can generate your FSK signal. So this is the way. So just take a look of this block diagram. If you are having any doubt in this block diagram, just ask me. Then we will go for the circuit, building the circuit in multisim. If you are having any doubt up to this point, you just ask. So just take a look on this slide, and if you find any difficulty to understand this slide, then you can tell me. So we will wait for 2 minutes to just go through this slide. Okay, so we move to the building the circuit. So before building this circuit, we will build the circuit block diagram in multisim. So we need a multiplier block. So multiplier block will be available here. So first multiplier, second multiplier on one header. Now we require two signals. So we will take pulse which is a digital data. Instead of pulse, yeah, okay, we will take pulse. Then we need an inverter, and then we need a two sine waveform. So first sine waveform we will take here, and second we will take here. And both are working at different frequencies. So I will just change. This is 100, and this is 10 hertz. So instead of millisecond, I increase the time. Okay, I will take 100 millisecond, and it will take period of 50 milliseconds, and I will put this thing with a higher frequency. So this is 100 hertz, this is 500 hertz. The amplitude is 1. So here we will replace by 0 because the amplitude should be 0. We will take an inverter. So this inverter will invert this digital data, and it will be placed at X, and second will be multiplied here. Same way here, first will be multiplied by here, and this data without inverting, it will be applied here. We will take a ground. First we will monitor. So these two signals will be added here, and your output will be available here. So first we will see in 4-channel oscilloscope the first two signals which are available here. So first we will see here, and second signal we will see here. So whether we are getting two SK signals or not. So just if you see it properly, I will take your sample data 2. So if you see red signal, it is not available for 0, and we are having an issue with blue signal. So we will see why it is an issue with blue signal. So blue signal is this one. So we are passing through this signal with inverter. So I think this inverter is not working properly. So it is some issues with the inverter when we are working in 13.0 version, but you will not face problem in 14.0 version. So the data will be not inverted. So this time we will see what is happening. If you see, this is always 1, so that's why there is an issue. Just what we do using this inverter, instead of using this inverter, we will apply a signal which is similar to this one, but it is having an inverted output. So instead of 0, it will be treated as 1, and for 0 it will for 1 it will be treated as 0. So I have inverted this data. Same period, same all those things, but it is with a inverted thing. So if now we observe, so both signals are available in different time domains. So if you just see this B signal, now you can see this red signal is available for different period, and blue signal will be available at different period. Now if you add these two signals, you will get your proper output. So I will take your output here at D. So I will make other thing 0 so I can see the output only. Now if you see the output, okay, not working with that. So for 0 it will be something else, or for 1 it will be something else. So I will take the digital data so that we can compare both the data. So I will take this on A. Okay. So I have placed it 0. That's it. Now you can see that for 1 it is having different frequency. For 0 it is having different frequency. So using this block diagram, you can generate FSK signal. Now this is a block diagram. So this is not an actual circuit which can be able to generate your FSK signal. So we need a actual circuit which can able to generate your FSK signal. So we are having another circuit diagram which is able to generate signal. So this is that diagram. So here if you see this, we are using 40668B. It's a switch. So it's a switch thing. So if you apply 1 at F1, so if you apply 1 at in 1, then whatever data available at S1 means source, IN1 means is your input. So whatever data will be available at S1, which will be available at D1. If you apply 1 at S2, whatever data available at IN2 will be available at D2. So it works like a switch. If IN1 or IN2 or IN3 or IN4, so four bilateral switches are there in this uh, 4066 BD block diagram. So they will work in this fashion. So we will operate this thing and we will see whether it is working or not. So 4066, just if you go, so here you can see quad analog switch is there. So you have to select this. So first thing we have called this block. Now we are having three function generator. First is data square wave. So you can select function generator XFG1 and you can connect in this fashion. Plus will be connected to your 13 pin input 1 and other will be connected to a inverter. So there will be an inverter and it will be connected to IN2, that is 5. So we will take an inverter. And this will be connected to second input. So we have connected these things. So this is our data switch. Then what we need to do, we need to generate two oscillator frequencies. So we will again take a oscillator frequency generator and plus will be connected to S1. Then again a function generator and this will be connected to S2. And the other terminals ground common will be connected to ground. So we have completed up to left hand side. So we have completed the left hand side figure. Instead of 3 ground, we just replace by 1 ground because it will help you to stop in the single shot. Once all things is placed, we need to apply the power supply here. So we will add 15 volts and minus 15 volts. So VCC. So this will be plus 15 volt because the rating of, and this will be minus 15 volt. Now once it is done, so we will join these two things. So if you join these two things, it will work as a summing point. Now we will take the output here. We will just take two. Sine wave we are getting, just we will take the input so we can measure whether we are getting same correct thing or not. Okay, so that is an issue. We have to select digital data here. And I think so I have not changed the frequency. So this is 100 we will select and this we will select 500. So you can see we are able to generate two frequency, but there is a change in amplitude. Which amplitude is it? It has changed. Okay, so just if you look at, this is 10 volt, 10 volt. So here also the problem maybe must be same thing, that inverter. The inverter is not working properly. If you see, first signal is working properly, but the other signal, what you see, it is not working. So that's why you are having a problem. So the problem is with this inverter. So in 14.0 it is working perfectly fine, but in this version it is not working properly. So what we will do, we will take another function generator and we will replicate the data. So first is 1, then amplitude is 1, frequency this, offset we need not to change. So instead of function generator, what we will do, we will replace a pulses, so that we can change. So we can change the uh, amplitude. So first we will replace by 10, and second we will replace by 0. So both will be inverted data. And we will reduce the frequency. Now we will monitor the first output. We will be able to see whether we are getting the. Just a minute. So now we will check the second, whether we are getting the inverted data or not. First we will check that. This is connected to S1. So So we are getting the output what we have expected. Okay. So both the inputs right now working properly. Now we will see the output waveform. So two outputs we should get here. So first we will monitor two, and second we will monitor three separately. So these two should be two ASK signals. Both are having the same frequency. One is 100 hertz. Okay, so that's why we are having this 500 hertz. So you are generating, but for the zero, it is not giving zero. It is having some smaller amplitude. So what we can do, instead of using these things, you can use sine waveform. This is problem in this version only. So because we are not applying anything in the zero side, although we are getting some waveform at that side. So first we can say 1 volt 100 hertz. So we will take a 10 volt 100 and 10 volt 500. Now if you combine together, for zero you will get the lesser amplitude, and zero you will get the less frequency, or for one it will get the higher frequency. So we will combine these two signals together. So now you can see, for zero you are getting the different frequency, for one you are getting the different frequency. So in this way you are able to generate FSK signals by generating two ASK signals. So this is the practical way, or you can use this IC to generate FSK signals. Now what you have to do, you have to go for this website, and you have to generate a FSK signal here. So you have to type your enrollment number here, last three digit of your enrollment number. So just convert it to binary. Already told you how. Just select here BFSK and submit here. You will able to generate your BPSK signal. You have to submit that snapshot and your comment in your Canvas portal. So you have to do this task. You have to choose the frequency, which frequency you want to select, higher or lower, and just you need to submit, and you have to take the snapshot of this diagram and you have to submit it. So if you are having any doubt up to this point, you can ask. Otherwise, I will take your attendance and close the session today. Any doubts? मोहम्मद, कुणाल, विभूषा, प्रियांक, जानवी, कोई डाउट है तो पूछो फटाफट। सी बैच इज देयर ना?
Yes, sir.
जानवी,
Present, sir.
भारती,
Present, sir.
निधि, निधि, अर्पित is there, मेघना, मेघना was there, यश, यश is there, भावदीप is there, दिव्य,
Yes, sir.
ईशा, विभूषा is there. ओम पारिक,
Present, sir.
हितेश,
Present, sir.
आदित्य,
Present, sir.
जय, प्रियांक,
Present, sir.
गोल्डी is there, प्रियांशु, प्रियांशु झा, शिवम यादव, okay, 4 students are absent. I will just repeat their name. If they are present, just type in chat window. Shivom, Priyanshu, and Nidhi. These 3, 4 no. Okay. So bye. Have a nice day. If you are having any doubt, you can contact me.
Have a nice day, sir. Okay.